Boys, tomato sauce, and here we have some absolutely huge news in the PvP community. This is going live April 11th. Upcoming class 2 balanced druid buffs, brought paladin nerfs, and more. Let's take a look. Death Knight, Unholy, Raise Dead damage is getting increased by 10. Army of the Dead increased by 10%. Scourge Strike and Clawing Shadows by 20. Death Coil by 10, but it doesn't affect PvP combat. And Soul Reaper by 15. Gargoyle's going to be getting a little buff also. This is all good for Unholy's Go, obviously, except the Death Coil change. Balance, Star Surge damage increased by 10, not in PvP though. Denizen of the Dream increased by 20. What else we got? Guardian, some nonsense. Preservation, Evoker, all healing increased by 3%. Living Flames healing increased by 15. That's big. Resonant Sphere now also applies Echo to the first 5 allies it passes through. Was 4 allies. Hunter, we've got Beast Mastery. All damage dealt by you and your pet's abilities are reduced by 3%. Big, big. Survival, Mongoose bite damage reduced by 10. Big also. Protection, Paladin, healing nerf. Thank goodness. Nobody wants to queue into these guys and shuffle. Discipline. Power Word Shield now costs 2.4, so it got a mana buff. It absorbs 25% more damage. That's huge. Renew now costs 2.4%, another mana buff. Power Word Radiance now costs 4.5. Boom. So Disc is getting some big mana buffs, and they really actually need that, especially as we go into the next patch and games are going to be. Holy is getting damage buffs. That's not what you want to see for Holy, because when that starts happening, RMP gets big again, and boom. Big bang boom. Big setup comps. Restoration Shaman. All healing done reduced by 5%. Might be heavy-handed, but I guess it's a big totem healer, so maybe not. I could have seen like a 3% healing reduction here. Kind of crazy. All right. Let's see. Mistweaver, we are specifically targeting Blackout Kicks. These are player versus player only changes. Druid, Cyclone's mana cost has been reduced by 40%. Okay. Mistweaver, we are specifically targeting Blackout Kicks AoE damage potential, as we feel Mistweaver's healing becomes overwhelming when it can cleave its damage. Absolutely. RSK no longer deals increased damage in PvP. Rough. Blackout Kick no longer deal increased damage. So the copies from Teaching to the Monastery do not deal increased damage in PvP. And Spirit of the Crane restores a lot less mana now. But you really don't even need this talent on a Fistweaver. I see some people take it, but anything under, 2.4, you probably don't even need. Windwalker fixed an issue that caused the copied Blackout Kicks to deal 15% increased damage in PvP combat instead of the intended 30. Nice. So Windwalker's getting some clean buffs. That's cool, since I just started messing around on my monk again. Paladin, Word of Glory healing increased by 15% in PvP combat. Holy Shock healing increased by 30% in PvP combat. These are big buffs for Holy Paladin. Retribution Paladin, finally. Oh my goodness. Huge ret nerfs. Avenging Wrath now increases damage and healing by 10%. So 5% nerf there. Really a big nerf there. 30%. Avenging Wrath, Might now increases the critical strike chance by 10%. So they lost 5% there also. It's a third of the increase. A third of the increase. These are big changes for Paladin. Divine Protection now reduces the damage taken by 10% in PvP combat. So their wall, only a 10% wall. Good. Light Celerity now increases the healing of Flash of Light by 20% in PvP combat. Was 50. That's a big nerf. Sanctified Plates now grants 50% less stamina and avoidance. This is fine. This is they got way too much out of this. I think they had 10% stamina, 20% armor from this talent. So it'll be 5% stamina now, in line with what Warrior gets if they spec into that talent. Blessing of Sacrifice. Oh, this is a big one. Now transfers 20% of the damage taken. Was 30%. So some big tuning to Ret Paladins. Finally. That's big. Demonology. Let's see what we got going on in Warlock. we're toning down the value of Immutable Hatred as it's providing a significant boost to single target damage in PvP while being difficult to avoid. It increases your primary Felguard's Legion strike damage by 60%, but increase it by 60%. Damages target down 20. I think this is a good change because Demonology single target damage when they had everything rolling was getting a little. So yeah, some good changes overall, guys. I think the Rep Paladin changes were definitely on point. This all goes live April 11th. So if you have been keeping your distance from PvP because you thought Mistweavers, Restoration Shamans, and Retribution Paladins absolutely toxic for the state of the game, guess what? Welcome back. You can come on back home because Blizzard has put in tuning changes that are going to adjust this meta in the right direction. Have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, and have a great year. Nate Assassin out. Every other class back in now that Retribution Paladins, Restoration Shamans, and Mistweaver Monks have been toned.